It took me years of therapeutic practice to have what I felt like was an acceptable answer to the question patients routinely asked. How do I stop overthinking when my mind just won't shut up? People were playing the same conversation 17 times, zooming in on every okay text, convincing themselves it's all falling apart when it's not. And after working with hundreds of patients, here's what I know. Overthinking isn't about logic, it's about fear. So if you give me 3 minutes, I'll show you how to break the cycle. I'm Jordan Travers. I'm a clinical psychotherapist, and today we're breaking down the science of overthinking and exactly how it works and how to shut it down for good. And we're not just guessing here. Let me take you inside one of the most revealing studies ever done on this. In 2022, a team of researchers at the University of New South Wales wanted to understand one thing. What does overthinking actually feel like inside someone's mind? So they surveyed over 200 people, some students, some working professionals, most of whom had lived through depression, anxiety, or both. They didn't ask for statistics. They asked for stories. They asked what people overthink about, how long it lasts, when it hits the hardest, and what it feels like in the moment. And here's what they heard. Things like, it's like your brain won't let go. Or I replay the same conversation over and over, trying to figure out what I did wrong. And even when I know I'm spiraling, I can't stop. Most people said they ruminate about personal relationships, things they wish they said, moments that went wrong, and texts they sent too fast or too slow. And when does it hit the hardest? Late at night, in bed, alone. 73% of them said that's when the spiral begins. They scroll, they pace, they lie awake, trying to find relief in thinking, but the more they think, the worse they feel. What the researchers found was this: overthinking, whether it's worry or rumination, isn't a habit, it's a loop. And for many people, that loop is triggered by social interactions, a look, a tone, a message that just felt off. They found that 1 in 5 people felt completely powerless to stop it, not because they didn't want to, but because they didn't know how. And that's exactly what we're going to work towards changing right now. Overthinking isn't about logic, it's about fear. It's your brain trying to gain control where you feel none. And the more you think, the less in control you actually feel, because the problem is rarely the problem. What hurts us isn't the thing itself, it's the 1,000 imagined outcomes our mind spins around it. What if they were pulling away? What if they're lying? What if this whole thing is falling apart? Most of the time, it's not the moment that hurts you. It's what your mind does with the moment. And that's the real cost of overthinking. You start rejecting yourself before the world ever gets a chance to. You don't apply for the job because you think you'll get rejected. You don't send the message because you assume they'll ghost you. You don't share your work because you've already decided it's not good enough. No one tells you this, but overthinking isn't a thinking problem. It's a self-trust problem. You assume the worst, not because you want to, but because somewhere along the way, your brain learned that preparing for pain feels safer than hoping for connection. And so you spiral. A patient once told me, I rehearse texts like I'm applying for a job. I delete, I rewrite, I reread. Then I panic when they don't reply fast enough. Another told me, I wake up at 3 a.m. with my stomach in knots because I think I sounded weird in a meeting 3 days ago. And perhaps the one that stuck with me the most was, I haven't applied for anything in months. I open the form, I start to type, and then I just tell myself I won't get it, so I close it. These are not dramatic breakdowns, and that's what makes overthinking so insidious. It doesn't show, but it presents in your thoughts. And that's where you need to start. Step 1, the problem is rarely the problem. Overthinkers aren't reacting to the world. They're reacting to what their mind thinks the world means. Not hearing back from someone isn't the problem. It's your mind whispering they're ignoring you. They're done with you. Missing a deadline isn't the problem. It's the story that says you're falling apart. You're a failure. 99% of the harm comes from your thoughts. 1% from reality. So the next time something happens, pause. Ask yourself, what actually happened? And then ask, what am I adding on top of that? That difference, that's your answer. Step 2, avoid self-rejection. This one is one of the most heartbreaking things I see. People don't even give the world a chance to say no because they've already said it to themselves. So here's the rule. Apply for anything you don't feel ready for. Publish the post that feels too vulnerable. Send the message that might go unanswered. Never overthink yourself into not trying. Never say no to yourself before the world ever does. Step 3, silence and time. If overthinking could solve your problems, you'd be free by now. But instead, your brain is like a hamster wheel, fast, noisy, and exhausting. The truth is, most clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from pausing, from silence, and from time. When something feels unsolvable, walk away. Let your nervous system settle. Let your brain defog. Answers often arrive when you're doing the laundry, taking the walk, or washing your face, not when you're forcing your mind to produce solutions. Stillness is where wisdom shows up. Let it. Step 4, the power of now. You're not going to overthink your way into a better future, and you're definitely not going to overthink your way into a better past. All you have is now. This second, this choice. So ask yourself, what can I do right now that's good for me? Not perfect, not ideal, just one small move forward. That's where real change begins. Step 5, fact check your thoughts. Overthinking feels convincing because it uses your voice. It sounds rational, thoughtful, even protective. But most of what you're reacting to, it's just simply not true. It's fear dressed up as logic. So start fact checking your own mind. If your thought says, they hate me, ask, what proof do I actually have? If your brain says, I'm a failure, ask, what would I say if a friend told me this about themselves? When you learn to question your thoughts instead of obeying them, you take your power back. Step 6, acceptance is peace. You can wrestle with uncertainty all day. You can try to control the uncontrollable, and you'll burn yourself out trying. Peace comes from surrender, not in a passive way, but in an empowered way. You stop trying to fix what can't be fixed today. You say, this moment is uncertain, but I'm still moving forward. Or, this isn't ideal, but I'm still worthy. You accept what is so you can make room for what could be. And if your mind ever becomes your loudest critic, if you find yourself spiraling in silence, doubting your worth, replaying things that didn't even go wrong, I want you to know this. You don't have to go through it alone. I'm Donna Travers. I'm the clinical director of Awake Therapy. And if you're ready to find some peace, if your thoughts have been turning against you and you want a way out, I'd be honored to help you through it. You can find the link to book a session with me below. And until then, if you need more guidance, you can watch my other videos on how to tackle anxiety. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.